On Wall Street, the Dow jumped 266 points to finish at 34,156. Time now for Consumer Confidential with KTLA 5's David Lazarus.
All right, the numbers looking better today.
Numbers looking better. You can thank Fed Chief Jerome Powell for that. For a while, it was looking today like it was going to be kind of a humdrum day. But then Powell had a public appearance at which he said the deflationary process, which is how he terms it, seems to be underway and is manifesting itself in consumer goods. And that was instantly seized upon by Wall Street as, oh, that means the rate hikes are working. Prices are going down and we'll have fewer rate hikes ahead, and boom, stocks took off like a rocket. This is a perfect example of not just wishful thinking, but also selective listening. Because if you listen to everything Powell said, yes, he said there is a deflationary process underway, but he also said we're just at the beginning of this and it's going to take quite some time before we manage to bring down consumer prices, which thus indicates, no, we're not out of the woods. There might be more rate hikes still to come. Moreover, Powell made a real point of saying that the Fed is going to respond to whatever data points are out there. All right, now think about last week's super strong jobs report, which showed us that the labor market is very strong, which is a sign that inflation is going to stay high. That's exactly the sort of data point that the Fed chief is talking about. So for the moment, yes, okay, it looks like there is some deflationary process out there, but Powell is right. It's all about the data points, and right now the data points tell us we still got a ways to go.
All right, remember a couple of years ago there was that big layoff and the boss did it all by Zoom?
Oh, yeah.
Well, now the Zoom company is laying off its workers. Did they use the same tactic?
No, they did not. And the thing that makes this story particularly interesting, aside from it being the latest tech layoff, is that Zoom seems to be doing it right, if you can say layoffs are ever right. I'll get back to that in a moment. Zoom announcing today that it's going to be sacking 15% of its workforce, or about 1,300 employees. Like most other tech companies out there, the company says that there's been a drop in use since we've come out of the pandemic. It also made a point of saying that there is, quote, uncertainty about the global economy, which is also what tech companies have been saying, a sense of, yeah, things might not be dire right now, but we want to get ahead of dire, so we're going to lay everybody off right now. Okay, that's the bad news. The good news, such as it is that Zoom is doing this with an element of thoughtfulness. For example, laid off workers will receive up to 16 weeks. That's like 4 months of not just salary, but also health coverage. That's huge. Health coverage is a very big deal for people who might have a chronic disease or anything like that. Moreover, CEO Eric Yuan said that he is going to cut his own pay this year by 98%. And moreover, he's not going to take any of the corporate bonuses that typically lift a tech CEO's salary or compensation through the roof. Is he going to starve? No, of course he's not. But that at least shows that he's taking some of the blame, taking some of the responsibility, and taking on a little bit of pain as well. That's leadership. That's impressive.
And then what is this passenger bill of rights for travel, is it?
Yeah, this harkens back to the Southwest meltdown that we saw that caused inconveniences for thousands of travelers. Now a group of senators have introduced a new passenger bill of rights that is in response to that. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, wait a minute, I've seen passenger bill of rights before. Yes, you have. This one is different because it has teeth. That's not to say it's going to pass, but if it did, check this out. Anybody who got bumped from an overbooked flight would be eligible to get $1,350 from the carrier. Boy, would that deter the carriers from bumping people. Moreover, the new Bill of Rights would place limits on how many extra fees can be placed onto things like seating assignments or baggage. Overall, the senators are basically saying it's not a level playing field out there right now, and they want to do something about it. And as I point out in a post that's at KTLA.com right now, airlines are the only industry or business that I can think of that deliberately oversells more products, in this case seats, than they have in inventory, and then punishes customers after they do it. I've never seen any other company get away with that. This new Bill of Rights would try to deter that, and that's why it seems like a good idea, even though an airline industry trade group has already said, we're going to fight this.
Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you, David.